Pastor Carl, man. How you feeling today?
I'm reaching over slow because I've got some broken ribs.
What happened?
Playing the game that we love.
Yeah. You played a lot.
Yeah, well, when you're 41, you don't bounce back like you used to.
Right, right. You know, it's funny. People know you as Pastor Carl, but I know you as Carl who just shoots from 40.
40 or beyond. No, I've known you. I was thinking about it on my way in. First of all, thanks for having me.
Anytime.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of you. So
Appreciate you being here, man.
even if you had like a Canal Street, purse shop where you were selling fake stuff, I would buy from you.
For real?
So, yeah.
Okay.
So to be on here is really cool. I've known you for like 10 years. I think I met you.
Yeah.
I met all the guys I knew when I first moved to New York. I'm still friends with because of basketball.
Right.
So yeah, we've been hooping together.
I played with your team at Rucker. I've done it all with you, man.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we put the only team out there with 5 NBA starters.
You did.
First
you did.
team at Rucker ever.
Were you there the day that KD dropped, what was it, 60 or 70? Or were you just there for the day in Gauchos?
I wasn't there for the 60. But
Okay.
I was there for when he would have had 60, and we had to leave after the third quarter because it was so crazy.
Right.
That game started on the outdoor Rucker court, and it was so packed, and the floor was a little bit wet. They were like, we're going to moved it to Gauchos, and it was such a crazy scene in there.
Rucker's amazing, man.
It was KD, Scott Machado, Landry Fields, David.
Scott's been on the show, by the way. Yeah.
David Lee,
Yeah.
Bazemore, and
Landry Fields?
and KD. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was our 5.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous.
Yeah, that gym was packed. Probably the only energy that ever matched that energy was when Vince caught that windmill 360 at Gauchos. Besides that, that's the greatest moment ever.
Yeah. So it's third quarter. KD had at least 40-something at that point. And we had White Chocolate, not Jason Williams, but the street ball legend, White Chocolate. You know who that is?
Chase. Oh, yeah, of course. Actually, I play with him on your team.
Love him.
Yeah,
That's my
good guy. He loves the game.
He was killing, too.
Yeah.
And we
could shoot it.
We called a timeout, and I'm like, all right, as soon as we go back onto the game, we're just going to walk straight out onto the street and get out of here.
Right.
So we broke the huddle and just took off.
Right,
And
right.
It was crazy because I was like, we're not going to be able to get out of here. But it was fun, man. There's no scene like the New York basketball scene.
Nah, that energy that the crowd gives you is just different. You don't realize how it is until you play in it.
No, and you put in work everywhere you go. I think all your listeners must know a little bit about you.
They know a little bit. Appreciate that, Carl. You always have kind words. And I appreciate that.
Well, if they're truthful, I gotta say.
Yeah.
But you're a hooper. Whenever I can get you on the squad, we try to.
Let's do it. Let's start with, everybody knows you as Pastor Carl, but some people don't know you were a hooper. Where'd your hoop journey begin?
Okay, my hoop journey began, obviously I'm from Virginia,
Right.
and I was on a really good high school team. Got moderate recruiting interest, but right as I graduated high school, my coach goes, I got you a tryout at Hargrave Military Academy.
Right.
And went up there and made that team, and it ended up being the best thing ever. We were number 1 in the country. 13 guys went D1.
Right. How was the adjustment, though, to prep school? Because I know it's a tough adjustment.
It was awful.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to a military prep school.
Oh,
ever.
my God, for sure.
But yeah, we had a team that was 35-1, and 13 guys went D1. Anthony Grundy, who just passed away. My roommate at Hargrave and at NC State. Herb Sendek came to sign him, and Grundy didn't play because he got suspended for something crazy. I started in his place and played a pretty good game. I actually got kicked out of the game at halftime for fighting against Fork Union. It was like our rival. But
you are feisty. You are feisty on the court.
It got
still
me,
to this day.
But it got me to where, because Herb Sendek came down and he's like, hey, we'd love to have you at NC State.
That's dope.
And that's how I ended up there. Played there for about 2 years, and it was incredible. This was like the apex of the ACC.
High level.
High level. It was Duke was ridiculous. Maryland had Steve Francis. It was just crazy. I loved it. Loved every second of it. Didn't play a lot. Might have played a little if I stayed all 4 years. But I still lead NC State in warm-up threes made.
Okay.
I mean, all-time leading warm-up. No question. But it was cool. I learned so much. Lifelong friends. Went home to a D3 school to kind of finish out my sophomore year. Loved that, Virginia Wesleyan. And then realized right then that I probably wasn't going to be a pro basketball player. And ended up just kind of exploring my relationship with God, which changed my life. Yes.
For sure. So, you have a son. Is he playing ball yet?
A little bit. He's playing football.
So let me ask you this question. What is your thoughts on when coaches or teams or programs have this mindset that everybody should play the same amount?
It's the worst mindset ever.
I agree.
It's the same mindset as like giving you a trophy for just participating.
I agree.
One time Roman did get one. their team lost, and they gave everybody a trophy. So I took the trophy, broke it in front of him, and I'm like, we don't do this in this house. We don't like validate mediocre. And I went and like made up some drill and had him win that, so I can give him a trophy for being a great leader. But no, I don't do the whole, even thing, because that's not life.
Right.
You earn a spot or you don't earn a spot. So if
Work harder, right?
If my kid was not getting playing time, I wouldn't put it on the coach. I wouldn't go tell him, hey, can my kid play? I'd tell my son, unless you want to work harder, we're going to be the best 2-minute-a-game guy there is.
Right. What was his response to that?
It's not valid with my son because he's going to play. He's going to get tired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. So the name of your book is Own the Moment.
Yeah.
Go get that. Amazon. Where
Yeah,
else
it was like 2 years ago. I think.
Time flies, right?
I know. It should be at Barnes and Nobles or wherever you can get it online still. But yeah, I love that book.
Why the name? Own the Moment.
Because I wanted to hopefully have a book where if you read the title, you get the vibe of what it is. And I think we live in a time where people need to do that more. Just own the moment. We're always planning for the next or focused on the last. And it's like, man, you're going to miss the present.
Or focused on the phone.
Maybe. Own the moment. Start a podcast. Get a cool logo.
You got to get Carl hooping.
They even got your knee brace on there, which I appreciate.
Yeah, so Justin Bieber, man, what was his journey like, and what did you learn about fame? Is there like a gift and a curse to it? I know you probably have a totally different perspective now because there's a lot of famous people, but there's not a lot of famous people at Justin's level of fame. So
now there's like three. We
Right.
always say there's fame,
Right.
and then there's Justin fame,
Right.
Michael Jackson fame.
Right.
I think there was an article a couple years ago that said there's like three people in the world that are instantly recognizable. It was like Obama, Justin, and some other person at that time. And I think, have you ever been to, I think I brought him up one time when you were there at Chelsea.
I don't think, but I think I was in the Garden when you brought him to that game. I didn't play in that game actually, but I think that's when I remember seeing him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just
He was in the gym one day. I think. Yeah.
Sometimes I don't let him play with those cats because it's like, man, someone's
too
gonna,
crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, one thing. Did you hear the story? What happened in Chelsea? So Cooley was playing Spade, right?
Yep.
I got DJ Spade, and there's a clock, right?
Yep.
So 2 minutes left. They're up 2. Spade goes like this for 2 minutes and doesn't let anybody touch him, and they win.
If Cooley's listening, that's my guy. Shout out to DJ Spade. Do what you got to do to win. If you're mad at it, take the ball from him.
For sure.
I could just see Cooley doing that.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard, though.
I love it.
But back to Justin. Yeah, back to Justin.
I think he's an amazing guy. I think he's worked really hard to fight for his mental health because it's a different world. Like, we all have mental health issues. So whenever you hear someone like admit that they have it, it's like you and everybody else. It's just who does something about them. And I think he was brave enough to go, I gotta fight for my sanity in this crazy world, or I'm gonna end up, a famous statistic. And he's kind, he's humble. He shouldn't be who he is with the fame that he has. He should just be, on a different planet. But he's just refused to live that life, and it's hard though. That fame is ugly.
Yeah, how's he doing today?
Awesome. He's
Good.
married.
Okay.
He just released a song that I think's #1 on everything, including the music on Mars. Like that song went huge already. So he's doing good.
It all started on YouTube, right?
Yeah. Scooter Braun. I think someone gave him a lead that there's some kid just busking in Canada, and he went and checked him out, and the rest is history.
Speaking of YouTube, follow Combo TV on YouTube. But subscribe. There you go. But all right. So what are your thoughts when people blame you for like KD leaving OKC or Kyrie leaving the Cavs? Like, what do you make of that? How ridiculous is it, and what do you make of it?
Well, they're right. I hold all the keys.
Oh, okay.
I have that much power. No, anytime anybody says stuff like that, I'm always like, they must have like a really small incubated world to think that, somebody could make these calls. But it's par for the course. If you don't understand my life or my relationship with these guys, it'd be easy to go like, what's going on? Some weird cult, some guy trying to pull strings. But if you know anybody from KD to Justin, these guys are who they are because they can't be told what to do.
Yeah.
So the notion that I could try to sway somebody is just, it's pretty false. That's not even my job or my life anyway. If I'm a friend of anybody, whether it be you or, a friend, somebody doesn't know, if you ask me, what I think about a situation, I'll give you advice or wisdom, but it would never be, some heavy-handed, gotta do this type vibe. So, it's not my fault that KD's in Brooklyn.
Right,
Definitely
right.
not my fault that
I
NBA things went down.
I think they got a good chance for a championship within the next 2 years.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. Did you see Kyrie last night?
No, but he's been back like he never left, right?
Bro, I mean, he's unbelievable. Like last night, I think they lost to Utah, but the guy is just otherworldly.
Yeah, he could score in more ways than anybody ever. Like he don't like
Yeah.
every move he has is like a patent move.
And it's just so fun to watch. It's like watching an N1 guy that's like achieved the highest level, but every move he does, you just wish you could do it. You got to see him live. If you never have, you got to see Kyrie live. There's a couple other guys that you see him on TV and you're like, yeah, and then you see him live, you're like, now I get it. Giannis is like that.
Yeah, the way he changes direction at that size.
You know,
and
the
transition.
only guy that's ever got me to stand up in my chair at a pro game, Derrick Rose.
Yeah,
This was years ago when he was with Chicago. I was at the Knicks game. And he caught the ball about three-quarter court, and he was at the other free throw line so fast. Me and like 10 people stood up. We all looked at each other. You know how you do at MSG. You're like, oh, my gosh. It just takes your breath away.
yeah, for sure. I got a personal question, Carl. So, I guess it's a question about God. So sometimes once in a while, I'll be driving my car and I think something bad's going to happen. And then somebody will swerve into my lane. Luckily, nothing happened like that. Like whenever I get a bad feeling, something around me happens. Do you feel that's God?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's God. I think that I'll probably say the peace that you can get during that stuff is God.
Gotcha.
Because life's going to happen to you whether you believe in God or not. And I think, I don't think that God caused that car to swerve into you. But I think
Oh, it didn't go all the way in. But
yeah. No, I don't think it's always God causing bad or good things.
Or when I think of Carl in my mind and then I get a text message from Carl. Stuff like that always happens to me.
That could be God.
Okay.
You never know.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the mystery of being somebody that's a faith guy. I mean, sometimes I think it's weird when people start to put that much emphasis on everything. Like they stand in front of their closet and say, God, what should I wear?
Right.
That type of stuff, I'm not sure. But I do think sometimes God will align you with people. He will put relationships in your path that you didn't plan on. And
I agree.
Sometimes, absolutely, God had that plan.
Right. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about Hillsong. Can you just speak to what Hillsong is and your role with Hillsong?
So Hillsong is a club where only rich and famous people can come. We charge money at the door. We make sure you have the right clothes on.
Right.
And if you make any mistakes, you can never come back. That's the Hillsong Mantra. Over the years, there's been, stories that are written, and you can't control every narrative, but anybody who knows us knows, what the truth is. And for us, we're a church that has open doors. Anybody can come, whether you're nameless, whether you're famous, whether you believe or not believe. And that's what makes us a little bit special, because you would come because you're my boy, and even though we might not share the same faith, you would trust that I'm not going to bring you to some place that's going to judge you or force you to be somebody you're not.
For sure.
And I think that's our church is effective because we got a lot of people who don't think they're better than anybody. They're trying to be the best them.
Right.
And in that kind of environment, you want other people to win. You want your friends to know about it. And again, anything you don't know from a distance, we have a phrase that says distance creates distortion.
Right.
Meaning, like, if you're far away, you can't tell, is that a 7-Eleven or is that a Krispy Kreme? That's a big difference.
Sure.
The only way you're going to find out is walking towards it. And our culture doesn't want to do that. So if I don't understand combo, I'd rather stay back here and judge you. But if I want to get to know you, I got to reach out. So that's our goal with church, is to get people to not judge people. Come see for yourself.
Right. Can you speak to what gold in the garbage is?
Yeah. I am gold in the garbage.
Okay.
I think gold in the garbage is when you have an ability to look at a average situation and say, you know what, this isn't ideal, but there's going to be something in this. There's meaning in this. There's gold in the garbage, if you will. And I think that's been the story of our life. It's when you're having an awful day and you walk into your office and go, you know what, I'm going to have a great conversation. This whole day might be garbage, but this moment right here, this is gold. And I think that kind of mentality helps you understand I can't control everything around me, but I can control me. So
Right.
I might be in the worst week of my life, but there's going to be some gold in it somewhere. And then you start to live like that, where you start to see, even in people, where there might be some garbage aspects about them, but I still see the gold in you. And I think that kind of mentality just makes life better, makes it more fun.
Can you relate that to the court? Like when somebody's garbage, but you make them better and you make them a good player? Is that?
Yeah, basketball-wise, like, my gosh, I think that's the essence of a good coach, isn't it?
Right.
Like somebody else might look at this heap of players and go, we got nothing, but a coach who knows what he's doing says, there's some gold in you.
Right, right.
I'm going to put this system that's so ironclad, that's so beautiful, that the worst player in the world could fit in there, and
Right.
We're going to make you a winner.
Right. Do you feel your basketball background helped you with what you do today?
I mean, like nothing else.
Really?
Everything we do as basketball players, it's actually about leadership. And I think, was it Obama who said you can find out more about a man in 2 hours of basketball than you can 2 years of life? And that is true. You know what that's like. Like we can pick up a stranger off the street at Chelsea, and you can know in an hour whether you'd ever hang out with that guy.
That's
and
true.
he never said a word. You could just tell by the way he plays. It's not even about being good. It's about like your spirit and your will, and whether you're selfless or not, whether you're a jerk.
You know what, though? In Chelsea, there's a couple really good guys that they got crazy on the court, though.
Yeah, but you know that too, though. You're like,
Okay.
I appreciate you scoring, but I would never hang out with you. I don't even like the way you score. Like, we won, but I was miserable out here.
Right, right.
So, yeah, basketball for me, I think it taught me how to be a team guy. It taught me how to encourage people. I've always been that kind of player where we always say, I want the smoke. Like, I want to be.
Want all the smoke.
I want to be down by 20 with
All right.
4 to go and just watch us, make this 18-2 run, whatever. And I think that stuff has really helped me out in life, for sure.
Right.
But plus, I should never have been where I was basketball-wise.
Why is that?
I mean, I wasn't good enough in the natural. But I outworked everybody to get to, a place in basketball where I didn't belong. So that showed me in life, like, this isn't about being gifted. This isn't about being a superstar. It's about working harder. And nobody can stop you from working hard. Nobody.
Speaking of natural, how much of
I am the best shooter I know.
Yeah, no, that's what I was getting to. You are a great shooter. How much of shooting do you believe is natural and versus worked on? Because there's guys that, they don't put in as much work as somebody else, and they might shoot better than that person. You know what I mean?
Well,
so how much of
yeah.
shooting do you believe is natural?
I think it's a good question. I think the closest thing would be golf because do you golf at all?
No, I don't.
Well, I don't either because I can still hoop. But when I do go to Topgolf, or I know some golfers that are great,
Right.
You can tweak one thing about your mechanics, and it's the difference between a great shot and a bad shot. I'm getting better as a shooter now at 41 because mechanics are everything. So I can sit there with somebody who can't shoot. You give me 2 weeks, I can make you a shooter.
Right.
Because basketball is about repping the right things. Shooting is about form. It's about your feet. It's about your elbows. It's about your knees.
Right. The flow of the jump shot, everything.
Yeah, so it's still my favorite thing to do today. All of my stuff I learned from Adam.
Yeah.
So who the reason why he's going to be the best coach in the NBA is because he played for the Mavericks. Dirk Nowitzki is his mentor, and Dirk's shooting coach, a guy named Holger. I'm sure if you Google him, you'll find out. Taught Adam all of Dirk's stuff. So Adam has gone on now to teach that system to so many people. And I think it's really evident. I mean, he's the one who footwork stuff, elbow stuff, he's unbelievable. So he taught me all that. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be the best rec baller in history,
For sure.
because I'm gonna shoot better than I ever have. So that's, to me, shooting is about working hard.
Shouts to Chris Grant, a fellow author of yours. Man, he always asks. He's like, you got to get Carl on the show and
Subway
ask him.
rights.
Yeah.
That's my guy. I love Chris.
He's a big advocate of you being on here, so he's going to be happy to see this episode. Yeah, but no, he wanted to know specifically what Adam has taught you. So is there anything specific we could give to Chris and our listeners?
Yeah. You can subscribe to my Secrets of Shooting.
Okay.
It's $100 a month. It's I think it's a heel toe thing, which is so counterculture. So most shooters shoot from their toes. If you watch people on film, a great toe shooter would be Ray Allen, right? Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make it right. It means he repped a wrong mechanic so bad that it's beautiful, right? So unless you're Ray Allen.
Look at Reggie. He had a weird form. Everybody's different.
But the best shooters have perfect footwork. So look at JJ,
Clay.
look at Kyle, look at Joe Harris right now, who's unbelievable, even off a catch and shoot. And look at shooters that are about 32, 33%. The reason why they shoot 32% is because they release from their toes. And it's impossible to rep that. So you're off balance all the time. You could have perfect elbow, wrist, everything. But if your feet are not balanced, you're not going to be able to consistently shoot. So I think that the core comes down to your feet, which people never expect.
If the pastor thing doesn't work out, you can become an NBA shooting coach.
That's my ultimate. That's my end game. There's more money in the NBA game.
Right. Did you have a chapter in your book called Molly Percocet?
I did.
What was that about?
It was about a bunch of things.
Gotcha.
It was about the shallow culture. It was about teaching my daughter about what lyrics mean. I tell a story in there where I heard my daughter singing Molly Percocet. Now it's dated already. I'm like, golly, I never knew that the Migos would be that dated. But she was just singing a song, and I said, do you know what that song's about? And she's like, no, and I don't care. It just sounds cool. And I said, well, these guys are talking about drugs, and this is what these drugs do. And the purpose of that chapter was just to say, be careful what you put in your soul, because it's going to reproduce something.
Right.
So be careful.
Right. Who you like for MVP this year?
That's really tough. I'm dual-minded in this because I feel like they should give MVPs after the finals.
I mean, that makes sense.
For instance,
I mean, Giannis wouldn't have won last year. If he did that. Yeah.
I know. But what really matters in the NBA is winning the finals, winning the playoff games. So to give MVPs like Lamar Jackson, who I love, he's the NFL MVP. He's out. He's sitting at home. So I think that there should be some way to add the playoffs. But MVP, counting it as it is now, it's got to be Harden, right?
I would say
Giannis.
the three guys, LeBron, Giannis, and Harden. Yeah.
And then, I didn't get to LeBron yet. I think I don't know how you don't give it to LeBron.
I agree.
I don't understand it. It's like back in the day when Jordan wouldn't get it, and they would just
voters fatigue.
Well, they would give somebody a charity call, like Carl Malone sitting there today somewhere with the MVP because people just got sick of voting for Jordan. But I think LeBron, I don't understand how he does it. The dude he just makes his team better. I'm probably putting my money on him until number 7 from Brooklyn's back.
Okay. You know what's crazy? If he would have been back, I felt like he was the only one that could legitimately say, if he improved even more, that he's better than LeBron. I don't think anybody else could take that crown from LeBron. That I see, at least.
It's tough right now to say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Harden's freaking good, though.
It's crazy.
I don't
numbers
understand
he's putting
it.
up.
Yeah, I watch it, and there's a video floating around now of him and Russell doing slow-mo stuff. Have you seen it?
No, I gotta watch it. Gotta send that to me.
His step back from the underneath the basket angle, and it's crazy because you could see how slow it goes and that little double hop he does to get back.
He makes it difficult look easy.
It's special.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he works hard though. Like a lot of those
Of
guys
course.
don't understand. A guy like James Harden is like a good comedian. Have you ever seen a really funny comedian who just rolls?
Yeah, for
That
sure.
guy has worked hard at
sure.
that act because preparation gives you peace. It's the same thing when you see somebody like Giannis, who, by the way, is the hardest worker in the NBA, apparently. Doesn't surprise me. Harden would practice that hundreds of times. That's why it's annoying when you go play pickup with somebody who tries that move and you're like, bro, you can't make that. You just saw that on TV. You just wasted a possession so you could try his little step back. It's not that easy. You know?
Yeah, especially with the youth, man. They're all shooting from 40. A lot of that's because of Steph Curry.
My son. Okay, with football and basketball, the other day we're playing catch, and he just does this weird running sidearm thing. I said, son, what was that? He goes, I'm Mahomes. I said, you're not Mahomes. I want you to complete 10 normal passes. We go shoot around the driveway. Right away, catches it, like double cross, triple step back, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, well, you know our rule here. Until you can make 10 free throws, you can't shoot a step back. And he's like, that's fine, Dad. Does it again, you know. So thanks, Steph Curry. For all the dads out there, now we got to teach our sons how not to do a step back until you can actually dribble 5 times without dribbling off your foot.
No, right. And part of that, I think, is just the highlight social media era where they just see the greatest plays. I think a lot of kids aren't watching games in their entirety.
Bro, okay, so let me just tell you something about youth culture. My son and his friends will sit there and watch hours of vines still on YouTube. And it'll be like the highlights of the NBA, highlights of great shooters. And so they don't even know what a real game looks like. They just think that all games are like, we say that about life too. Don't ever compare your highlight reel to somebody else's highlight reel because neither of them are real. Watch the whole game.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, Carl, it's great to have you. Can you leave us with like a good word?
A good word. I think life is amazing.
Okay.
If you choose to see it like that. And if anybody's listening that's going through a tough season, it's just a season. It will get better. Keep listening to this podcast.
Love it, for sure. Combos, Score, Rate, Review, Subscribe. Where can we find you, Carl?
You can find us now at the Palace Theater in Washington Heights, Hillsong Church,
Really?
10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock. This week will be our first week there.
Dope.
So we were at the Manhattan Center, but we have to, we switched to a bigger venue, and it's closer to Harlem. It's really cool. Love to have you come. Combo's coming. So if anybody wants to come to church, but they say, oh, I'm Jewish, I always say, my boy Combo comes.
Yeah.
Plus, our guy Jesus is there. He's Jewish.
Right.
So no matter where you're from, what you've done, what you haven't done, what you believe, what you don't believe, Hillsong Church, our doors are open. We'd love to have you.
Great. Social media? Did you say all your social media?
Nah, I'm at Combo.
Okay.
25. No, how?
1-2 combo. Oh, and ETWO. Siambio. There you go.
I'm at Carl Lentz NYC on the gram. At Carl Lentz NYC on the Twitter.
Hey,
And yeah, that's me.
it's getting popping out here.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Drop a clue bomb.
Boom. Thanks, Carl.
My
Shouts to
man.
Clue.
Yes, sir. Clue, we love you.
Later.